Why are European trucks, often more powerful, significantly quieter than their American cousins? To understand the difference, we have to start with what's under the hood, or in the case of Europe, right under the cab. American trucks like the Peterbilt 389 or Kenworth W900 are built around massive long-hood diesel engines. These are typically low-revving, high-displacement monsters designed to haul huge loads across thousands of miles of interstate. Think 14 to 16-liter engines pushing out around 400 to 600 horsepower and 1,650 to 2,050 pound-feet of torque. They run at low RPMs and rely on large single turbos, mechanical components, and less aggressive noise management, because that's not the priority. European trucks take a different approach. The average Scania, MAN, DAF, or Mercedes truck uses a 12 to 16-liter engine too, but here's the twist. They rev slightly higher, are extremely fuel efficient, and use multi-stage turbocharging, advanced EGR systems, and electronic engine management that smooths out combustion. They're designed for stop-and-go conditions, tight spaces, varied terrain, and environmental performance. The engineering focus? Refined power delivery and quiet operation. A huge portion of truck noise comes from one place: combustion. The moment diesel fuel explodes in the chamber. American diesel engines are built tough, but not necessarily quiet. The combustion event is loud and aggressive. You get what's called a hard ignition knock, a distinct rattling sound from the abrupt rise in cylinder pressure. European manufacturers have tackled this with surgical precision, thanks to common rail fuel injection systems. Fuel is injected not once, but in multiple smaller pulses: pre-injection, main injection, and post-injection. This spreads out the pressure rise in the cylinder, creating a smoother, more controlled burn. The result? Less knocking, less vibration, and less noise. Engines like Scania's DC16 or Mercedes OM471 don't just burn fuel, they whisper it into power. Now, let's talk about what happens after combustion: the exhaust and braking systems. In the US, the Jake brake is a badge of honor. Engine braking sounds like thunder rolling through the mountains. And while effective, it's also very loud. So loud that in many towns, you'll see signs reading, "No Jake brakes." European trucks rarely rely on that style of braking. Instead, they use quieter systems like hydraulic retarders, exhaust brakes with silencers, and VEB Plus engine braking systems that integrate with the transmission. These are designed to reduce noise at every step, keeping the truck under control without waking up the whole valley. Combine that with heavily muffled exhaust systems and emission control technologies like DPFs and SCR systems, and the sound coming out of the tailpipe is drastically reduced. But noise doesn't come from the engine. It comes through the floor, the doors, the windshield, and the mirrors. That's where European cabs take the lead. Modern European trucks are built like luxury sedans on stilts. The cab is a separate insulated module with floating mounts, vibration dampeners, and aerodynamic shaping. They use multi-layer acoustic glass, sealed doors with rubber gaskets, sound-absorbing foams in the firewall and floor, and laminated panels to reduce vibration transfer. Some models even have double-glazed side windows and noise-reducing seats. The goal? Create a cabin that's not just quiet, but mentally calm. Because noise doesn't just damage hearing, it causes fatigue. By keeping things silent inside, European trucks reduce driver stress, increase focus, and lower long-term health risks. Truck noise isn't all engine. At highway speeds, wind noise can be just as dominant. And again, Europe leads in design. COE trucks, cab over engine, are naturally more dynamic. Combine that with precise shaping of roof lines, fairings, mirror housings, and chassis skirts, and you get significantly lower wind resistance and less turbulence. Compare that to a US long-nose truck. Flat grille, exposed exhaust stacks, and large panel gaps. It's iconic, but it's also noisy at 100 kilometers an hour. In Europe, government policy plays a major role. The European Union enforces strict pass-by noise limits, especially in urban zones. Trucks can't exceed specific decibel levels when driving by pedestrians or residential buildings. This has forced manufacturers to engineer quieter engines, quieter exhausts, and quieter everything. And as electric trucks enter the mix, like the Volvo FH Electric or Mercedes E-Actros, this silent trend will only continue. In contrast, US noise laws vary by state, and enforcement is limited, so American manufacturers have focused more on emissions and fuel efficiency than outright noise reduction. Here's where it gets cultural. In America, many truckers want to hear the engine. It's part of the job. The rumble of a Cummins or the bark of a Detroit diesel is music to their ears. It gives a sense of power, feedback, and identity. Some even modify their exhausts to make the truck louder on purpose. In Europe, the expectation is different. The cab is a working office, a place to rest, to eat, to sleep. Quietness isn't a bonus, it's a requirement. European drivers often spend more time in their cabs off-duty than on. And because trucks are taxed, monitored, and operated differently in Europe, noise is seen as a nuisance, not a personality trait. Let's look at some figures. Inside a Peterbilt 389 at 60 miles per hour, 78 to 82 decibels. Inside a Scania S650 at 60 miles per hour, 72 to 75 decibels. That 5 to 10 decibel gap may not seem huge, but it means the Scania feels nearly twice as quiet to the human ear. Over a 10-hour shift, that adds up to dramatically reduced stress and fatigue. So why are European trucks so quiet? It's engineering, it's culture, it's law. It's a commitment to refinement. From combustion to exhaust to cab design and beyond, everything is built to keep things smooth, silent, and efficient. Meanwhile, in the US, it's a different story, one built on tradition, toughness, and unmistakable sound. But as electrification moves in, both worlds are about to get a lot quieter. And the question is, will truckers miss the noise or welcome the silence? If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe for more truck tech breakdowns, and tell us in the comments, would you rather drive a quiet, high-tech Euro truck or a loud, rumbling American beast? We read every comment. Thanks for watching.